How's it going, everyone? It's the MUX Wrestling Show, and this is my second review, my second ever show review on this channel. And again, if you're a returning subscriber, I used to have this channel under the name Kneecap Wrestling. The name has changed, the channel has changed, and the content on this channel has changed. I'm going to be doing weekly reviews. I'm going to be doing Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, and at times TNA, and of course the pay-per-views and the takeovers. So this is what this channel is going to be about. And if you didn't watch already, I have uploaded the SmackDown review from 29th of November 2016, and now I'm going to be doing 205 Live, which was aired after SmackDown. So I'll get right into this. First off, excuse me, I just made the SmackDown video, and my voice is still, kind of cracking up and kind of messed up. But I'd just like to say 205 Live is great. It's brilliant. It's amazing. I like to see the cruiserweights have, long matches, and they should be given that time. The only problem that I have with the cruiserweights is that I really think that they should be on Wednesday nights after NXT. And I don't care how you do it. Whether you do it taped, whether you do it live, I don't care what you do. It should be there after NXT in front of the Full Sail crowd. That's where it should be. That's just my opinion. That's what I think needs to happen. Because even though like tonight's crowd or last night's crowd was decent, it was okay, but you're not going to have that crowd every single time. It wasn't the best crowd. I'm not saying it's a good crowd, but you're not going to even have that decent crowd every week. So if you're at Full Sail, those fans understand wrestling. That's why they come to NXT shows. It should be on Wednesday nights. Plus, having the 205 Live kind of makes SmackDown 3 hours long. And 3 hour shows back to back on Monday and Tuesdays, that's awful. So let's get into the show. Austin Aries was on commentary. A surprise. And they actually uploaded a video on their YouTube channel. But still, kind of a surprise or whatever. So it was good to see him there. Unexpected, surely very unexpected, but it's something different, and I like it. I really like it, and this could possibly lead to a feud in the future with one of the top baby faces, because Aries is a heel. So this might lead to a feud with the baby faces in the cruiserweights, because when Austin Aries was there, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I picked up my phone, Wikipedia, Austin Aries, looked at his weight, 202 pounds. 202 pounds. You know what that means? He's under 205. Guess what? He can be the cruiserweight champion, because they're not doing a lot with him on NXT. Never know. You never know. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see this lead to something, in the future. Excuse me, I really apologize for all the cough. Now, when the actual show starts, all the contestants are introduced by the announcer. And it's mainly done for the casual fans that are there in the audience, and the casual fans that are going to tune in to the network and watch for the first time, I guess. So it's for them. It's not for the hardcore fans who already know who Grand Metalik is, who already know who Jack Gallagher is, or who Ho-Ho Loon, or Tony Nese, or TJ Perkins, Brian Kendrick, Rick Swann, Cedric Alexander, or Lindsay Dorado. We all know that. We all know who they are, what their finishers are, what they can do, what they bring to the table. We all know that. But it's just for the casual fans. There was another guy, Mustafa Ali. Now, I'd like to take a second and talk about Mustafa Ali. He was brilliant in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think he just had one match, but then he had a couple of matches on NXT, and he was brilliant. And I'm glad they signed him. And I'm just going to put this out there, because if somebody watches this, they're going to notice this, or they're going to say this, or they might think this. And I feel like I need to say this. I'm a Pakistani Canadian. Mustafa Ali is a Pakistani British, or a Pakistani Britisher, or whatever you want to call him. Um, so it's, and I'm praising him not because he's from the same like the same country from me or whatever. No, I'm not. I'm not. You know, I'm not praising him because of that. I'm praising him because of his talent. He is fucking amazing, and that's what I'm praising him for. So it's good to see him there. He had a great match against, I forgot who it was against. I think it was Tony Nese. I think it was Tony Nese at NXT, and it was really, really good. So let's see where this goes. I mean, it's good to see Mustafa Ali, man. He's good. Now, talking about one brown guy, we're going to go to two more brown guys. There's they aired a lot of segments today to make you understand the cruiserweights, to to get your investment into their characters, or to get your attention, your interest into those characters. So they did backstories, segments, interviews, and stuff. They had the backstory on the Bollywood boys, Harv and Gaurav Shira, the brothers. They're actually brothers. So they talk about their history and how they're Indians, and when they were growing up, they loved Bollywood, and they watched hockey, and they were really building on the fact that they're Indians. But they wrestled and trained in Canada, and if I'm not mistaken, Harv is the one who was trained at the Heart Dungeon. So that's brilliant. That's amazing. Good for him. It was either Harv or Gurv. I don't know. But they talk about their 95-year-old grandpa who was really excited to see them on WWE, and that's pretty cool. That's good to see. And they talk about how how those guys, how Harv and Gurv are like Chris Jericho and Bret Hart, like their wrestling styles. So again, building on the fact that they're Indians, but they're Canadians. The only this is what I don't like about these Indian, Pakistani, Middle Eastern gimmicks. They are so cultural for some reason. These guys said they used to watch Bollywood. I get it. That's a part of their life, but the Bollywood boys, really? Like Bollywood boys? That's such, I hate those gimmicks. They could be so much more than that. So much more than, like the Great Khali. Like I get it, he wasn't a good wrestler, but when he came in, he was the Great Khali. Like he was. Yes, they had the word Punjabi with him, but he was still dominant. And then they made him into a fool, and I get it because he was a shit wrestler. So I'm not praising Khali just because he's brown. And then the Bollywood boys are introduced as Garb and Herv, or Herv. I don't know how to say their names. Actually, I'm brown and I don't know how to say their names. They are from Bollywood, India. What the fuck is Bollywood? It's the movie industry. Like Hollywood and Los Angeles is a part of the town. So if you're from that part, you say, I'm from Hollywood, Los Angeles. Right? There's no such fucking city or state or town or anything named Bollywood. So that's stupid. But we're going to talk about this later. Then we go into the first match of the night, which is Tony Nese and Drew Gulak versus the Bollywood boys. And first off, before I get into the match, I was looking at the ropes. They were obviously taped quickly for the cruiserweights, and the tape just looked horrible. I'm not going to get into this. I'm not going to go on a minute long rant, but the tapes looked horrible. So if you have a taped show on Wednesdays, maybe that's just a minor thing, but I just needed to say this because I saw that and it looked ugly. Now the match was really slow in the beginning, but the action picked up once Harv tagged Garth Shira in, and once he came in, the action picked up and the commentators were good. That's what I liked about this. Morrow, Corey Graves, and surprisingly Austin Aries. Like, I know he's good on the mic, but he was good on commentary as well. I really enjoyed him. He was doing the heel commentary. Corey Graves was heel slash babyface, and Mauro was face. So that's pretty good, and it was good commentary. They were not talking over each other. They were giving each other times. They were calling moves. They were praising the wrestlers. Amazing, amazing. And there was actually a pretty good springboard crossbody by Harshiro on Drew Gulak. That looked pretty cool, pretty good. And then what happens is Tony Nese tags Gulak in, and Garcia hits Tony Nese with a DDT and tags Harshira in. So that little sequence there was pretty good. And then what happens is once Harv comes in, Harv and Garth together, they super kick, double super kicks to Drew Gulak, and Harv pins Drew Gulak. The Bollywood Boys win. It's good to see them win. I wasn't a huge fan of them. They did this promo on NXT, this backstage segment slash promo, and it was horrible, where they were like, I don't know who it was against, and they were, I think, the Authors of Pain or TM61, and they said they're gonna butter chicken slam them or something. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this? Seriously, that was just stupid. But after the match, they interview Drew Gulak and Tony Nese, and Gulak is like, they're from Bollywood. That's not even a town. That's not even a real place. I was like, thank you, Drew Gulak. Thank you so much for noticing that. And then Tony Nese is like, the Bollywood boys were dancing like all Punjabi style and whatever. And Tony Nese is like, they look like the, Dancing with the Stars rejects or something. So that was pretty cool. Nese and Gulak, even after the loss, were on the same page. And the Bollywood boys are kind of growing on me, and I like them now. So it's pretty good to see. And then talking about, as I said, the backstories and the segments, there was a backstory on Noam Dar. Now, Noam Dar, man, he is good. Like all the cruiserweights are amazing. But, having said that, I know there are so many Noam Dar fans out there. Please don't kill me for this. I find Noam Dar to be lackluster. Like, his presence to be lacklusterish, if that's a word. He's great in the ring. It's just, I don't like the zip up, and I don't know. Like, I like what he does in the ring. I just can't, I don't know. I just don't feel it, that it factor is just not there. They talk about in his backstory, they talk about how he's from Scotland, and he says, my swag is different. I'm different from these guys. And I'm the youngest competitor in the cruiserweight division. But guess what? I have 9 years of experience, and they're building up this underdog gimmick where, everybody thinks, oh, he's a kid. But guess what? He can bring the fight to you. And he talks about how the only common thing between all the cruiserweights and him is that they're under 205 pounds. That's where the comparison ends. Other than that, he's better than all the cruiserweights. And then we go backstage where Tom Phillips is, he interviews Brian Kendrick backstage. And Kendrick basically says that he's going to beat Swan. And he says, Mick Foley bet the whole cruiserweight division on him, and he delivered. The cruiserweight division stayed on Raw, and then TJ Perkins comes in and says, you know what, Brian? I hope you win tonight, because if you win, I get my rematch for that title. And what happens is, we're going to talk about what happens at the match later on, but Brian looked good in the promo. I'm really liking Brian's promos now. TJ Perkins, same like Noam Dar. Great in the ring. I can watch him all day. Just not feeling him. Just not feeling TJ Perkins, man. Like, there's this guy that I'm going to mention now. He had a coming soon promo. He didn't have a backstory. This is the guy that I really feel. I am a huge fan of Grand Metalik. They had a small promo on him where they're saying, oh, he's going to come soon. And they talk about how he was big in Mexico. They talk about his Mexican heritage or whatever. Brilliant. I am a huge Grand Metalik fan. I hope he comes to the division and wrecks everyone. He was brilliant. Talking about the cruiserweights that I like, there's this other cruiserweight that I like. And now we're on to the second match of the night, and that is Arya Daivari versus someone that I really like, Jack Gallagher. He is different. You know, cruiserweights does not mean high flying, even though that is one of the most important and one of the strongest pillars of the cruiserweight division. But that's not the cruiserweight division, and he is the one who shows that, Jack Gallagher. He was over with the crowd. The crowd loved him. Even I feel like the casuals were behind him because he is so different, and that's why Gallagher is one of the best cruiserweights in the division. He's not going to hit you with a senton bomb, or he's not going to, hit a 450 splash. But guess what? He's going to bring the fight to you, and he's going to make it one hell of an entertaining fight. And it's his debut on TV, I guess, or on the main roster / 205 Live, whatever. But we didn't see him on NXT. I don't think so. So when Gallagher comes out, Aries is like, I don't really like him. Whatever, I'm not impressed. What is he wearing? Look at his colorful rainbow tights. Whatever, he's shitting on Gallagher. And Mauro actually mentioned that Arya was trained by his brother, Daivari, former WWE superstar. That's pretty cool. I like when they mention stuff like that. You need to mention stuff like that. You need to let the fans know that, as a part of the WWE, we know that that he's brother of Daivari. So we're going to mention that, just to put it out there so the fans and the WWE could be on the same ground. That we respect your memory, and guess what? We're going to acknowledge that. That's good. That's good to see. So they mentioned that, and I was like, I like that. I'm glad they mentioned that. And Austin Aries actually says that he broke into the business with Daivari, like the older brother, or Sheikh, what was it? Sheikh Abdul Bashir in TNA, whatever. Now into the match again, a slow match, a unique, different match as you would expect from someone like Gallagher, and I'm glad they put him in with Arya Daivari because he is kind of similar. Daivari's not going to do the splashes and all, so it's a mat-based wrestler. That's pretty good. Arya actually Irish whipped Gallagher into the turnbuckle, and Gallagher. This is a funny spot. I love this spot. Gallagher does a headstand, like on the middle rope, like he's on the turnbuckle, upside down, and Arya runs towards him, and he stops him with the leg, like stop, with his foot. That was just brilliant. And then Gallagher hits him with a running drop kick, and 1, 2, 3. He wins. Gallagher wins, and that was pretty cool. One thing that really, really pissed me off about this, I don't know if a lot of people caught on to this, because I wasn't watching it live. As I said, I watched it earlier today, like in the morning. So I was going back, I was looking at it, I was going back, I was analyzing, making notes. There's the sequence. Gallagher hits, they're building on the fact that Aries does not like Gallagher. So Gallagher hits 2 drop kicks and a crossbody, and Mauro says, Gallagher showing Austin Aries, that is, Gallagher showing Austin that he can also go to the skies when necessary, not completely a mat-based wrestler. What's wrong with that quote, you ask, right? This is what's wrong. This is what Mauro Ranallo said. Gallagher showing Austin that he can go to the skies when necessary, not completely a mat-based wrestler, sports entertainer. Are you fucking kidding me, Mauro? And trust me, that is just the fear that he has from the offense, because it was so quick. He's like a mat-based wrestler, a sports entertainer. Go watch that when he hits Arya with 2 drop kicks and a crossbody. Watch that. It pissed me off. Fuck sports entertainment. I get it. It's scripted. I get it. They don't really want to kill each other. I get it. But don't call them sports entertainer, especially when you've called them a wrestler. I fucking hated that, and I don't think Austin really heard that he was talking over Mauro at this point, so it kind of got buried. But I caught on to that, and it pissed me off so much. I was like, really, Morrow? Because had Morrow taken his time, maybe he was told by someone in the earpiece, like Kevin Dunn or Vince McMahon or whoever, Triple H, whatever, say sports entertainer. But no, it was just the fear that Morrow had. Oh my God, I said wrestler, a mat-based wrestler, sports entertainer. I don't want to go on a fucking rant about this. The crowd was in and out of this match. There were a lot of casual fans, and the mat-based wrestling isn't really for them. Then we go to Brian Kendrick's entrance. He's coming out for the main event. It's Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann for the Cruiserweight title. And he's coming out, and during his entrance, they show Rich Swann's backstory. And he talks about how tough his life was and how his father passed away when he was 12, and his mom passed away when he was 16. So he had a really tough childhood, and he went down a dark path, but then wrestling changed his life, and now he's here in the WWE to spread love. And unlike the others, he's charismatic, he's agile, he's a lot more agile than the others, and he has a smile that nobody else has, so he's unique. They're just showing how unique each and every single cruiserweight wrestler is. Not a sports entertainer, a wrestler is from the other. So that's pretty cool, and he talks about how he wrestled in UK, Japan, and Mexico. Then we go into the main event. Just a quick thing, both men were wearing pink and black. I don't like that. I don't like that in championship matches, and I don't like it when the heel and the face are wearing the same color. But just again, a tiny detail. Let's get to the match. Before I get into this, the match itself, amazing. Just loved it. Fucking loved it. Basically, they're talking about cruiserweights and stuff. Like, the match is slow in the beginning, like most cruiserweight matches are. And Austin calls himself the third greatest cruiserweight after Eddie and Rey Mysterio. That's Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. So that kind of tells me that he's letting everybody know, hey, I am a cruiserweight. I still am a cruiserweight, So you never know. Austin might become a cruiserweight champion. That's pretty sick. And maybe he brings the title to NXT. You never know. Now, let's get to the sequences of the match and the moves. So Brian tries to hit a dragon suplex onto Rich Swann. Rich Swann reverses, and he hits Brian with a belly-to-back suplex, and Brian landed on his freaking neck. And I was like, God, I hope Brian is not injured. I hope Brian is... And I think Charles Robinson was a referee in that match, if I'm not mistaken. And he's talking to Brian like, you okay? You okay? You good? You good? And Brian wasn't saying anything. So I was like, oh Lord, Brian's pupils were... Is it pupils or is it fucking eyes? Whatever. They were, they were expanding or dilating, whatever it's called, man. I don't know these fucking science terms, but I was like, dude, he's out. But he wasn't, so that was good to see. And what happens then is they're in the turnbuckle area a couple of minutes later, and Brian hits like a neck breaker or something to Rich Swann on the outside of the turnbuckle, so the ring post, and that looked like it hurt. So it was pretty cool. And then he was working on his back. So I like when they work on a wrestler's specific body part, and it really builds up the match and the story of the match. So he hits him with a neckbreaker-like move, and then what happens is, again, Brian this time hits the dragon suplex onto Rich Swann, and Brian goes for the captain's hook. Swann blocks it with his hands, and Brian goes into the straitjacket. This was like this in seconds, and I was loving the sequence. Amazing. And Swann actually reverses the straitjacket and hits Brian Kendrick with a Michinoku driver. And at this time I was like, holy shit, Swann just beat Brian Kendrick. 1, 2, Kendrick kicks out. I was like, holy shit, this match is amazing. Now what happens then is, now Brian gets up or whatever, and Brian runs towards Swann, and Swann kicks him, and he kicked him so fucking hard. I mean, I know they do the whole slap thing on their thighs, whatever, but the way it was made to look like, it looked like he fucking kicked the head off of Kendrick's body. Just brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. And now Swann is in the corner, and Brian is down. So Swann is going for the 450 splash. He's jumping, like, how he jumps. He does the 450. Brian gets his knees up. He goes for the roll-up pin. Swann kicks out. Brian gets Swan in the captain's hook. Again, a sequence done in seconds. Brilliant. Now he's in the captain's hook, and I'm like, that's it. He's done. Swan is done, because I didn't think, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's probably already spoiled. That's why you're watching the review. But I didn't think Swan was going to win. So I was like, you know what? Brian's going to win. So he's going to tap out here. But no, he doesn't tap out. He gets to the ropes, and that was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. It was unexpected, and you know, I really enjoyed the match. And then what happens is Brian's on the apron outside the ropes, like on the other side of the ropes, and Swan is on like the second turnbuckle. He picks Brian up, maybe looking for a superplex again, and Brian actually bites Rich Swan. So, again, amazing heel tactics, pretty good. So what he does is he bites him, and then he hits him with the sliced bread, and Swan kicks out. Brian is shocked. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, this guy broke out of the captain's hook, and now he gets hit with the sliced bread, and he kicks out. So that was pretty amazing, and the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." It was awesome. I was loving every second of it. And then what happens is Swan is on the ground, and Brian is frustrated, so he runs towards Swan, who's grounded, to kick him. Swan moves out of the way, and he hits him with 3 spinning heel kicks. Now, they were heel kicks, but they looked like super kicks. So it was a mixture of them, but they looked good. So he hit him with 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Rich Swan is the new Cruiserweight Champion. It was a simple but a great match. Raw, take notes, buddy. Just amazing match. I loved it. I'm glad 205 Live was good. And you know, the match itself was slow at times and then fast, but you know, it had good spots, which made the match very good. And then we go to an in-ring interview with Rich Swan, and there's "You Deserve a Chance." So the crowd was really behind him, and Swan thanks his mother, who passed away again when he was 16. And he says she's looking down on him, and she's here in spirit. So just an emotional moment. He was crying, he was sad. You know, it was pretty good to see the emotion that he has behind it. And then Tom Phillips interviews Brian Kendrick at the ramp, and Kendrick says this was supposed to be the biggest night of my life. They, and by they he means The Office, created the show for me. This show, 205 Live, was created for me. It's like I didn't lose the title. I was robbed of the title. And TJ Perkins was playing mind games backstage. He wasn't really supporting me. So don't expect me to lose a game. Don't get used to this. So possibly, you know, another Kendrick versus TJ Perkins in the future. Kendrick's going to get his rematch, I think. And then I think Perkins is going to interfere, and Kendrick's going to lose the rematch. I think that's going to happen. And then Rich Swan can move on to a heel. And I don't know who that heel is going to be, though. Maybe Akira Tozawa, or well, I'd like to see Tony Nese, man. Holy shit, Tony Nese is good. Final thoughts. It's a 28-minute long video. I don't want to make it longer than 30 minutes. So, final thoughts. Good first episode. Loved it. It wasn't over the top amazing, but it was good. It was decent. I can watch it again. I can surely watch it again. So I'm looking forward to next weekend. That's all you need. You want people to look forward to the next week. So I am looking forward to it. And I just feel like there needs to be a little more high flying for the casual fans. And because I'm a huge fan of high flying, action packed matches, so I'd like to see more high flying, but still pretty good. Gallagher, I mean, he was, here I am talking about high flying, and then on the other hand, I'm saying Gallagher is amazing. So that tells you how one person can change my point of view or my liking towards one thing. So Gallagher is just amazing. I like the tag team of Gulak and Nese, but I like to see them in singles matches because there is no tag team title, and those two guys are brilliant in singles matches. So I'd love to see them. And an unexpected finish to the main event. It's kind of like the first Raw after the draft or something, where Sasha won the title. Just, you know, just show you, oh, this is going to be an interesting show. The most important show is, I think, the fourth show. Not next week, not the week after that, but the fourth week is what I really want to see if they can still deliver like this. The in-ring talent's amazing. The booking is what I really want to see. I like Swan. He's a good champion. It was unexpected. But he's still a pretty good champion, and he's over with most of the crowds. So that's pretty good to see. But again, I'm gonna say that 205 needs to be on Wednesdays after NXT. But it is what it is. So let's see what happens next week. Now I'm gonna go to sleep. Actually, what time is it? It's 5:05 p.m. I'm gonna upload this video, make a thumbnail, whatever, and I'm gonna sleep at 7 p.m. Wake up at like 3 or 2 a.m. or whatever, and watch NXT at that time. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll be uploading the NXT review tomorrow, so check that out tomorrow, and I hope you like this review. Check out my SmackDown review as well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please subscribe and add me on Facebook. The link's in the description box below. See you on Facebook, and see you tomorrow at the NXT review.